I'm not going to say no one up here is not qualified. Now, what distinguishes me from the other 5 sitting up here is the real question. Basically, my 20 years of experience has been in 2 states combined. And there was an article in the paper just yesterday talking about how many cases I'd done, 1,058, I think. But in all honesty, that only covered Alabama. Did not include 9 years of me practicing in South Florida, from West Palm Beach to Miami to Fort Lauderdale, population of millions. I was a lot busier down there, I can tell you, than I was up here. So how many cases have I done? Can't tell you, but it's a whole lot more than 1,058. Also didn't include the cases I have done in federal court, and I'm one of the few attorneys in Coleman that handles federal court, especially the number of cases I've handled in federal court. And I've also done appeals, both in state and federal court. The thing that really distinguishes me is the fact that I've practiced in this other state, being Florida, the population, the speed in which those courts work, the mannerisms in which those courts work, the rules under which those courts work, I can bring here. That's what I spoke to earlier, and my campaign has been from the very beginning to speed up these courts, especially domestic matters, where children custody is involved, where we wait months and months and months. I've now won 2 appeals on that issue. Had 2 cases brought before the Court of Civil Appeals, and judgments came down in February striking down orders that took children away without a hearing. The courts ordered that a hearing be made. That was about 3 weeks ago. I have got my date for a hearing on that issue that got appealed, and I won 4 months from now. That's wrong. That's what I can bring to this court. Those hearings ought to be in 14 days. Divorces ought to be within 12 months. Attorneys should be held to the gun to produce under the rules, and if they fail to do so, they should be sanctioned by the circuit judge. That's what I'll do. Thank you.
I've got 25 years experience trying every kind of case you can come up with. I've defended medical malpractice cases. I've defended multi-million-dollar insurance fraud, bad faith cases. I've prosecuted every form of crime that you can prosecute. I've defended every kind of crime you can defend. I've been successful at all. So I know the courtroom inside and out, and I think that's what we need out of a judge. But more importantly than the experience is I felt I'm a problem solver. I can't count how many lawyers have called me through the years and said, I've got a troublesome case, can you help us with it? Used to, the worst thing you hear is when a judge would call and say, I hate to do this to you, but I've kind of developed a specialty of that. The judges call me when they have an issue they'd really like me to help with, and I'd be glad to do it, because that's what we're going to need out of the judge, is a problem solver. In Coleman, we have 2 circuit judges, Judge Nicholas, standing hiding back in the back, and then whoever's elected to this. But we don't have divisions. In Birmingham, you have a civil division, and you'll have a docket complex litigation division, and you'll have a domestic division, and you'll have a criminal division. We don't have that here. Our judge has a row of hats behind him. He wears them all. We expect our judge, and if you go by statistics, had 400 new criminal cases per judge filed in 2010, 326 civil cases per judge, 700 domestic cases per judge, and 125 other cases per judge. So we're expecting our judge to handle well over 700 cases in a year, and there's at most 245 days that you can actually have court, by the time taking weekends and holidays. And that's just on the new filings. That doesn't count the backlog. So I think the judge that we pick has to be someone who's handled the cases himself or herself and is prepared to step into the job.
The term most qualified gives me a little bit of a problem, because everybody sitting up here is qualified. Everybody sitting up here did not come from the same background, legal-wise or otherwise. There is a whole vast experience up here of different kinds of law, because some practice in some areas and some in other areas and that sort of thing. So more qualified is just hard to get up here and say, I'm more qualified than him or her or whatever. But on the other hand, I think that what would qualify me to be fair and to work hard is, first thing, I cut my teeth practicing with Ralph Bland. Ralph Bland taught me something, that you don't go to that courtroom unless you're prepared. I was a Boy Scout when I was young. I don't know if any of you were, and the biggest thing was be prepared. Sometimes I won cases because the guy on the other side did not prove one element of his case. Ralph taught me you take a yellow pad and you put down through there exactly every element you got to prove. The other person that taught me about being prepared was Judge Riley. When you went to argue a motion or anything in Judge Riley's court, he knew more than you did about the law and the facts and so forth. So the biggest thing is that I promise to work hard and be prepared. I think that makes me that. The other thing is independence. I have no connection with any law firm. I have no family who are lawyers. And I come from a background that teaches me and shows me what the other side of the tracks are. I've worked with people who are millionaires, and I come from a tenant farm where we hardly had anything to eat sometimes. So I've been in both worlds, and I think that my ability to be fair to both worlds is what qualifies me more than some of the others. Thank you.
Why am I most qualified? Well, my campaign literature and the different things on my website will tell you what my education and background is. And I too have handled every kind of case that you can think of, including some federal cases and bankruptcy and different administrative law things. And I've presented oral arguments before the courts of appeals. And I've had extensive additional training in mediation and lots of other things. So I have the training to do this. I know that. I have handled every kind of case that there might be in the circuit court, and I understand what it takes to listen. I've been told that I'm very good at honing in on what is the real issue here. It takes a lot of talent, I think, to do that, and I'm proud to say that people recognize that in me. But judging is a solitary job, and I practiced law by myself for 23 years or thereabouts before joining the district attorney's office. And I know that you have to be willing to stand up and make the hard decisions, and there will be hard decisions. The circuit judge makes decisions that affect people's lives. I will know that. I will know that when I start, and I won't look on it as a 9-to-5 job either. Someone asked at some meeting that we attended whether or not I thought that I could go home at night and sleep without worrying about the cases that I dealt with during the day. How was I going to do that? And I looked him in the eye and I said, you know, I don't really expect to be able to do that. So I'm committed to the people of Coleman County, and I think I have a lot of common sense, and I know I have the training and experience to do a good job as your next circuit judge.
People want to identify with a circuit judge. They want to know that the decisions the circuit judge makes, they want to know that you understand that. You know your authority, you know the limits of your authority, and that you're not going to abuse that authority. The decisions you make affects them personally. And I've like I said before, I've worked hard all my life. I know I've had to earn everything that I've got. And that's important, because when people stand in front of you, they're a person. They've got a reason they're standing there, and you got to realize they're human. You got to treat them like a human. That's what I'm going to do. There's no doubt that's what I'm going to do. As far as my qualifications, I've tried every kind of case that comes before circuit court, not just handled them. I have handled them. I've settled a lot more than I have tried, but I have tried them. I've tried workers' comp cases, tried divorce cases, original divorces, modifications, tried landline disputes, title issues, criminal cases, civil jury cases, contract cases. I've handled them, and the circuit judge's position is to sit there, to give the law, make rulings on evidence, make rulings on the law, and preside over the case. You know, and you learn that by getting in a courtroom and doing it, and I've done that. That's why I'm most qualified, or more qualified. Thank you.
When I graduated from law school, I was very fortunate that I had some opportunities come my way that I took advantage of. The first one was that I was employed with one of the large insurance defense firms in Birmingham. We had 4 locations in the state of Alabama. I worked out of the Birmingham office, and in that office alone, there were 50 attorneys. The attorney who hired me was actually my trial advocacy teacher. He actually taught me how to try a jury case, and he put me on the road. I've appeared in over 70% of the circuit courts in the state of Alabama. I've seen firsthand the way different judges handle different things, whether it be dockets, jury trials, or non-jury trials, all in circuit court. I have got that experience that can't be taught in a classroom. I might have been sitting in a docket call in Demopolis for 10 different lawyers, so I wouldn't be the attorney of record, although I had done all the work, and I was doing the appearing. I went to work in Lee County in the district attorney's office, and there I tried attempted murder, felony DUIs, child abuse cases, just to name a few jury trials. And when I came back home almost 6 years ago, I've been primarily representing individuals that have been injured, accused of crimes, involved in contract disputes, divorces, workers' compensation cases. I've represented people from both sides, which gives me a unique perspective. I understand the pressures from both sides, and I know that I have what it takes to follow the law, make those tough decisions, and do what's best for the people of Coleman County.